The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. This segment is brought to you by Caldera Lab and calderalab.com. Use promo code 1420LAB at calderalab.com today for the best in men's skincare on the market, and get 20% off their skincare products. Andrew, he's 40 some years old like we are. He only looks like he's 19 years old by using Caldera Lab. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's one of those things.
By the end of the summer, I'm gonna have skin like Andrew.
By the end of the summer, Andrew will be looking like Dave, maybe looking like Andrew. One of those things. And by the time he's done with us and his internship here at 1420 World Headquarters. Anyways, guys, Alec Manoah, he went down to the minor leagues. The 1420 slow pitch diamonds, the slow pitch complex. He didn't have a very good start to the season with the Toronto Blue Jays. They sent him down after going 1-6 or 1-7, whatever it was. Horrible start. Couldn't get out of the first inning. His last couple of starts, they sent him down. There's something wrong between the ears, mechanics. I think it was the pitch clock myself. But they're bringing him. His first start in the complex league down in Florida. It was a horrible going. And then he had a start last week in Double-A, I think it was. Went 5 innings, had 8 strikeouts, so a little bit better. He gets to start tomorrow on Friday night against the lowly Detroit Tigers. Andrew, is this a wise move, bringing a guy up right now after a lot going on between the ears and you don't know what might happen? What's your thoughts on bringing a guy up with the tough start that he had?
I mean, I think they brought him back a little too soon. For him to only get 2 starts or whatever, in Double-A was kind of surprising to me because mechanical things don't just come back like that. And obviously he was struggling like crazy, and especially him being a Cy Young candidate last year. So it was pretty crazy that they brought him back up this quick. But I think him playing against the Tigers, obviously they're not a great team, so him facing them, hopefully he gets some confidence back because he is one of the better pitchers in baseball.
Dave?
I spoke with with my father-in-law today. We were face to face, and I said, "Holy, that's quick." He goes, "Well, he did better in the second one, and it's the Detroit Tigers, and it's a heavy lineup of pretty much all right-handers, so that helps them as well." And I gotta think that the people that know better than us,
nobody knows better than us.
The people that get paid better than us.
Well, there's that, yeah.
Okay, to make such decisions, they saw something, and it was only 2 starts, but he's been gone for damn near a month now, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe they gave him that big bag of weed and a fistful of gummies and a thing of tequila and said, "Do what you got to do. We'll see you in 2 weeks." He comes back and he still was a little hungover against that instructional league team, and had his Double-A start, and they liked what they saw, and now we can work with him and baptism by fire, and maybe it's something like he needs pressure to figure it out. Maybe that's what they think. I don't know squat, but there has to be a reason to bring him up after only 2 starts for rehab purposes.
I understand, but bringing him up for a game on a Friday night in Detroit, where there's going to be 8,000 people in the stands, and no one goes to games in Detroit at Comerica Park. It's terrible. The team is awful. They're struggling to beat the Oakland A's, and I get it to an extent, putting him in that kind of a situation where you try to build your confidence, because with athletes, they don't lose their skill, they lose their confidence. Like, yes, some things mechanically, like you said, Andrew, mechanically things go a little bit sideways, but it's that 6 to 8 inch between your ears where it really goes sideways. And to bring him up into a game like that, I get it to an extent, but on the other hand, if he's that fragile where things aren't going so well, even in his own head, if he has a good start tomorrow, he'll like in his own head, he'll say, "It's still the Detroit Tigers. It's still Detroit. So what am I like when I go out when I play the Mets in 2 weeks, when I got to play, I'm not going to say the Yankees because they stink, but when I got to go to Tampa in 2 weeks, or when I got to go to Baltimore or wherever, that's when it's really going to hit. Maybe this start might not be the best thing. Maybe this trial by fire is the fire isn't hot enough, Andrew.
I mean, I would agree, but these are MLB hitters. These are MLB players. They're here for a reason. So I think any confidence is good confidence. At this point, especially because of how bad he was. So I think this is a good spot. It definitely still early, but if there were a spot to throw him in the fire, I think this would be it.
Dave, I didn't think he's coming back this year. How bad he was. I was like, I don't think he's going to come back. I mean, it could one more bad one, and this could be the end of the guy's career.
Career's a little strong because he was just a rookie last year. No,
I believe so. Yeah,
he's still young, and he's pitching for his second contract. He has a lot on the line in that way. He also, like in all his interviews, he feels so bad because he's letting his teammates down. He wants to be that horse. He was the opening day starter. He has something to prove, and I think that's good. I also this start in Detroit, Windsor's just across the river. I imagine there'll be a good contingent of Jays fans making the trip, the 20-minute car ride to give him some support on the road. Like
that might even be even worse because if he has a stinker, the boo birds might come up pretty quick.
I don't think they're going to boo him. I think
Canadians are quite nice. I get that. We are quite a nice group.
And people are rooting for him. It's not like I would go and boo fucking Scherzer or Verlander if they had these issues a lot quicker than Manoah. Right? He's not chasing the bag. Well, he hasn't had the opportunity yet. All he wants to do is go out there and perform and be a contributor for the Toronto Blue Jays.
The thing about Manoah, and that's a good point, David. The thing about Manoah, right across the country here, people like even if they're quasi baseball fans or mediocre baseball fans or clods or whatever you want to talk, how we want to word it. People like you go to wherever around the ballpark, and they're like, "Can you believe what happened to this kid?" Like everybody's like, "What the hell?" And it was a big topic of conversation because right across Canada, people are Jays fan-ish, right? They're not Jays fans, but everybody follows the Jays. We hear it's all the only team we really hear about. Andrew, what was the around your buddies and everything else about Manoah? Was there any talk out there in New York State about Manoah and what was going on?
I mean, not too much, but a few of my friends who are close baseball fans, we've talked about it. And I think we believe it's the pitch clock. I looked at his metrics actually, and everything was down a lot. So I think the pitch clock just speeding him up a little too much. And I think it's just been an adjustment that's been bigger for him than anybody else. So, but there hasn't been too much chatter about him, which is surprising. But I hope he bounces back because he is one of the better pitchers in baseball.
And it can't hurt to have a guy with that kind of moxie that he had. Like I remember in the All-Star game last year, he had the earbuds in. He was talking about getting punchies and striking guys out mid pitch. He knew what guys were striking out. It was unbelievable how he came through. Dave, have you ever seen like we talked about it a few weeks back? I haven't seen a kid go from one level to the next in any sport this quickly, this poorly. Like you go, what the heck happened? It's crazy to the fall from grace. I hope he can get back to something, but well, who was that? Rick
Ankiel for the St. Louis
Rick
Cardinals. Yeah. Like he was rookie of the year, I want to say. Like
he was going to be the second coming of Christ. Like he was going to be the next Steve Carlton, the whole bit, and then all of a sudden he just playing right field and fucking where did he end up in St. Louis?
Yeah, well, that's where he got broken. That's where he burned too hot, got too close, and then broke. Something snapped. He was Shohei before Shohei, right? As a pitcher in the National League, he was hitting like 280 with 10 dongs.
Rick Ankiel wasn't a pitcher. He was more of a guy who threw baseballs. Is one of those things how it all turned out, right? It didn't turn out very well for Rick Ankiel. You just hope that Manoah can come around and get something going because you look at that Jays team, and I think they're 6 or 7 games above 500 right now. And if they would have just got a decent season start with Manoah, they'd be ahead of Baltimore right now. If he would have went 8-8,
500, yeah,
8-8 instead of 1 and whatever he went, they're in second place in the division right now. And you hate to blame a season on a guy, or especially in baseball, like 162 games. But that guy, if they don't recoup, the Jays can actually blame their entire season on one person. And it's crazy to think that. Like, really, it's true.
Well, let's be honest here. You can't do that for every stinker that Manoah coughed up, right? Vladdy's having a down year. Bichette wants to throw the ball into the
hitting 270, hitting 280 is not a big deal. That's not a huge deal. When a guy goes 1-9 to start the season, when you hoped he would go 5-5 minimum, and then got to send him down to the minors, and then have God knows who else pitching for him, that's huge, huge.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But you can say that all the time.
8/29 on the 6th day of July. Dave said I was right twice. Unbelievable.
Well, I said you were right twice on the same topic, right?
Yeah, but I heard it.
I didn't agree to two different things.
Andrew, the Toronto Blue Jays have a hope. The Yankees have a bit of a hope. Is there anybody going to overtake the Tampa Bay Rays? And that start they got, Dave and I talked about a lot here on our show about that hot start. You can only, like, winning games matter so much, and the Tampa Bay Rays have proven win games early, and because it matters so much.
Yeah, I mean the Rays have been. I think they just got swept by the Phillies actually. So they haven't been playing great baseball either. But I think the Orioles are like 4 or 5 games back. But I think somebody might catch them. There's still a lot of baseball left. I think the Orioles have been playing well. The Jays, their lineup is as good as any probably. When they're going right in the MLB. So I would look to one of those teams to catch them. I wouldn't be surprised.
Dave, do you see Tampa going wire to wire?
Yes, I do. I don't think they can. They're just too consistent, right? Their analytical team allows them to just win the games they're supposed to do and do the right thing. I have zero confidence of them winning a World Series. Zero. But I just can't see them in their robotic style of baseball giving up that kind of thing. Who's going to catch him? It's not Baltimore. I don't think Baltimore's strong enough, deep enough. I think they're a little too young. The Yankees, the Jays, are they going to catch him? I don't see it.
Well, I think the Yankees, if they can put it all together, and God willing, and they can't do it.
And then Judge's toe makes a massive recovery, and Donaldson gets traded, and blah blah blah. I simply don't see it.
As the weeks go on throughout this summer, I hate Donaldson more and more every time I see that smug look on television. I hate him.
Is he hitting his weight?
Not even close. I don't think he's hitting my weight, man. Fuck. I hate him. Yeah. Like, with every sense of my being, I hate Josh Donaldson. The president of the Josh Donaldson fan club is Josh Donaldson. I hate him.
Do you think Josh Donaldson cares that Yankee Nation can't stand him?
No, he's too stupid to even realize.
I hope you're stupid, right? Because I couldn't imagine walking around New York and, like, he must hear Donaldson, you suck.
Every minute of every day.
100 times in every.
He goes to his high rise and where Park Avenue, wherever he's living there, the doorman says, "You suck, you suck."
The Uber Eats guy drops
you suck.
Like, "You suck," and then
his
there's
maid,
a note.
"You suck." His whoever, "You suck." Oh, he's terrible. He's so awful. What's your thoughts on Andrew? Do you like Donaldson, Andrew?
I think you should get DFA'd if the Yankees.
Good.
If the Yankees fans are booing Hicks that much, then I think they should be booing Donaldson even more.
20, because Hicks was only making $10 million. They said, "Yeah, well, we can eat $10 million to Baltimore." Yeah. $25 million, like for what's the rest of the season? Half season left. $12 million. Just go away.
Is this the last
so
year?
Bad. Yeah,
he's the last
done.
year. Oh,
he's
okay.
Done.
Oh yeah.
And then that jackass, he says, "Well, I don't know if I'm going to play next year. I don't know if I." Yeah, because nobody wants you because you suck. Oh, yeah. What makes me crazier is that Boone, who I love, Boone keeps saying, Oh, he's right around the corner. He's got some good swings. He's got things are looking good. Shut up, Boone. You sound stupid.
So you hate him more than you ever hated A-Rod?
Well, recency bias, yes. I'm sure if you went back in the realms of 2000 whatever years in the A-Rod stuff, yeah, I'm sure you'd find some. We didn't have our podcast back then. Our podcasts weren't even really a thing back then. But I'm really sure that I hate Donaldson a lot more than I ever hated A-Rod. Because A-Rod would lick the jar once in a while, do something good. The only thing that Donaldson does, one man home runs, one single home runs once every 4 or 5 days, nobody on base, makes 2 errors, goes 0 for 4, hits a home run 3 days later. That's all he does. He's awful. Awful.
I thought he was actually still kind of decent with the glove.
Awful.
Yeah.
He's okay.
His glove's not terrible, but he's hitting 130. So,
but that's not why he's there, right? Yeah. Exactly. You got to watch that 4 days in October, because that's also, if you recall, when Bronson Arroyo in Game 5, I think, was coming over to cover first, and that's when A-Rod slapped the glove. And he does the elbow run, and then Jasper. Is that A-Rod? What an asshole. Like, it was awesome for him to just understand why people think that guy's such a D-bag.
Who's a bigger nozzle? Andrew, I'll ask you, who's a bigger dickhead? Josh Donaldson or A-Rod?
You gotta think. I don't know. It's a tough question. I think about it. I mean, I feel like I was pretty young when A-Rod was like in his prime, so I didn't really get to see him like Donaldson. But I always hated Donaldson. Even when he was on the Blue Jays, I hated him. He was like one of my least favorite players.
Oh, so did I.
The bringer of rain.
Yeah.
Stupid name. They played in the dome, for fuck's sakes.
With the
all of it. He's an idiot.
Yeah, the neo-Nazi haircut blow thing. Like, I've never liked that guy's act. Yeah. He stole an MVP from Trout too that year.
Yeah. He was great though. He was so good that year.
Yes, he was. He was effective. I will give him that. But that was the last year he was a big time player in Major League Baseball.
Stand him in.
He is such a douche.
Absolute idiot. Absolute idiot.
They should nickname him Vinegar and Water because he's such a douche.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 Beer Sports Talk and a whole lot more. This segment brought to you by Caldera Lab and calderalab.com. Keep that youthful exuberance in your face all summer long with the best in men's skincare at Caldera Lab by using promo code 1420 lab at calderalab.com for 20% off. A-Rod. I hate Donaldson.
Put that poll up. Like, who's the bigger D-bag?
Yeah.
I think it's A-Rod, because that guy.
Because even to this day, A-Rod hasn't been able to turn it off. He needs to be center of attention, right? I think when Donaldson's done, when he's done after the end of this season, he might get some contract next year and be a DH somewhere. I don't know why it would pay him to hit a baseball, because he can't do it now. But A-Rod,
he'll just go back to his hometown.
Donaldson will end up back in Florida or whatever he's doing, and who knows. Whereas A-Rod has never been able to turn it off.
He just wants to be part of everything. Yeah. And I don't understand why ESPN
even J-Lo was like, go away, dude. Like, enough.
Well, stop it. He was probably more of a diva than her, right? And
that's what I'm getting at. She was like, I should be center of attention, not you. Can you just not?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're stealing my moisturizer. You know what? If Caldera was a sponsor of A-Rod, then maybe they'd still be together because he was too busy stealing her skincare products.
Guaranteed to make that youthful exuberance all summer long. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beers Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports Talk, and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.